With Terminator Dark Fate nearly upon us, I present my look at Terminator Salvation, my least favorite entry in the series. So, let's get this over with. After a brief prologue in 2003 with Hannah Bonham Carter and a person named Marcus, played Sam Worthington, we open in the year 2018, the machine war only being slightly worse than the actual year was. Short order, we also introduced John Connor and Christian Bale in this film. This is my least favorite film in the series. I do admit that shot of him killing the Terminator skeleton is cool as a reversal as one of the opening shots of T2. Also, could definitely he make plenty of Batman vs. Terminator jokes in this movie. I know I will. The supporting cast also includes Moon Bloodgood, who later find work in David Fincher, rapper slash actor Common, and just also played by Michael Ironside. How can I imagine how he felt about Total Recall a few years after this? They wanted me a cameo, but I said do Terminator Salvation, but I lowered myself to that. After his squad discovers something in San Francisco, getting ambushed in a helicopter is not terrible, but could be better. I mean, John gets jumped by a legless Terminator, briefly gets his boot pulled off, and kills the Terminator. This feels like I could have done more. Not just because of the PG-13, because director Joseph MCG Nickel never felt like the best fit of the story when they're actually fighting the machines now. Especially true of Marcus awaiting in the near future, which I'll come back to later. As John listens to Sarah's recordings while looking at his photo of her, we get hints of young Clarice. We're introduced to him as sister of two T-600 Terminators, and he's played by the late Anton Yelchin. It's actually one of my favorite parts of this movie. Contrasting more stark portrayal of Reese that Jai Courtney gave. It's a good job capturing chaotic energy Michael Biehn brought to the role. Elsewhere, here, John is mad trying to use parts of good Terminator to find Skynet servers. As for a look at the scene, all I can say is that, well, somebody saw Transformers. Back with Reese, he has a dinner of 2-Day-Old Coyote, better than 3-Day-Old Coyote. I prefer a Day-Old Roadrunner, but that's just me. Again, I must really give credit how good Yelchin's performance is in this movie. Everyone else seems like they don't want to be there, but whenever Anton's on screen, I can honestly say they helped elevate the material. So I was able to get through to Kyle. I must say the movie is surprisingly light on action at the 30-minute mark. Right after they fix an old Jeep, there's a chase with a drone, as John's able to track their signal in LA. Reese and Marcus are even able to regroup at a bombed out 7-Eleven. Even after Judgment Day, they still find ways to sneak in product placement. All of a sudden, I feel like a slightly a super big gulp. I guess AM/PM didn't offer them as much money as the last movie. Then they're ambushed by T-70 tank. It was after the power load from aliens, before the amp suits and avatars, so there you go. Marcus is able to destroy it with a flare and gasoline, leading into it sending out a pair of real Terminators to give chase. Not my favorite chase scene in these movies, but it's actually kind of creative. For the most part, the effects movies are also decent. Both the CGI and all the Stan Winston studios keeping up the work of the late namesake before they became legacy effects. Marcus even able to bring down HK drone with a truck to one of the Roto Terminators. In case you don't have a vibranium machine, make do what you got. A second tank then captured everyone except Marcus, who was able to be intercepted by the Resistance just in time. I don't know whether it's more fitting to say they would splice this aerial dogfight in one of Transformers movies and whether there wouldn't be much difference. As Marcus makes his way across the wastelands, this ambush by some Marauders cut to go to make quick edits actually kind of nullifies all attention. Makes me wonder what Christopher McQuarrie or I would have done with this movie, to be honest. Anyway, John and his team reach Skynet's Valley of Death, which is such a void there might as well be a theater showing this in 2009. Which is disappointing as other parts of the series were able to make this conflict work. Comic books, video games, action figures. Unfortunately, this film couldn't. We're barely halfway through this, and I should be more concerned about the apocalypse, but everything just seems too unreliable to me to care. Marcus and Tripp's magnetic mind, revealing him to be a Terminator's gut in the Resistance bunker. As I said before, we'll come back to this later, as a prologue will make even less sense. Also, this scene is so ineffective as a twist I didn't realize there was one when I first saw this movie about 10 years ago. The main problem with this is the way Marcus' arc has been structured for has basically nullified the intention the viewer would have had. 1 hour down, only 55 minutes ago, thankfully. Back at Skynet Space, I admit I do like the tanks keeping watch, so this running looks like because Lockdown's ship in Age of Extinction. Now we'll get John's interrogation on Marcus as an incoherent action scene full of shady camp-quoted edits ensues. It's amazing how, again, you would have to change very little about the scene to have been a Transformers movie. This and Revenge of Fallen did come out the same summer, so there you go. The way the scene is lit doesn't really help either. can barely tell what's happening as Marcus agrees to lead John to Reese and the other hostages. John then gets Marcus ready to keep in contact, and they have only about 40 minutes left in this film. As everyone gets ready to go storm the base, the movie thinks it can win brownie points by level teacher by showing John blasting Queen Mama Guns N' Roses on stereo like he did there. The movie is wrong, and also, Skynet's based to have the same burning oil fields in Blade Runner. The Terminator factory also seems to be in a finale set in a foundry or something like a foundry. Marcus infiltrates the facility and turns out the head on the bottom corridor is Skynet. 10 years later, and this hacking sequence is somehow still more absurd than making a mobile app. On that note, I will address this. Finally, if you cut the prologue and Marcus reveal in the bunker, the twist were more effective if you would save both for here in the final act. Now comes most infamous part of the movie. The CGI recreation of Arnold Schwarzenegger with his image being rendered over the double of Jürgen Prochnow, previously played in a TV movie. Needless to say, it was so badly received the next movie had to reel and destroy this faker, kind of like Zilla getting killed off in Godzilla Final Wars by the real deal. I'll address that soon, don't worry. The Resistance sub is destroyed, Context command and the army meets up with Reese. John's mortally wounded, but Marcus gives him his heart so he can live. Connor's able to destroy the facility and the is being chopped away. So Close and Reese being sent back in time and the future of humanity being safe. For now. This was not a great film, but it was made worse by how the concept definitely had potential. Fighting a war against machines is a story that has done well in other mediums. This film definitely had the ideal outlet for following Dark Tongue first two films or Take Two like the third did. Yet they didn't seem interested in it. Despite some occasional cool action scenes and creative effects work, the plot was inconsistent and the characters seemed underutilized, with the exception of late Anton Yelchin as Kyle Reese. It may not be the worst movie I've ever seen in hindsight, but still very disappointed film. Heck, even the infamous viral video from the set was more funny and more entertaining. While Genesis may not have been my favorite either, it still stood out more at me. Whatever happens with Dark Fate, I hope it does well. Both the returning cast and crew as well as promising new ones, I think it will. For now, this movie made a decent but not spectacular $112 million domestically and $371 million worldwide at $200 million budget, so might as well wrap it up. My final rating is 2 stars out of 4. Check back with me in November for more like a Terminator Dark Fate. Later.